In the last section, death, we look at the way that objects functioned as memento mori, as reminders of mortality. We spend most of our time in this section talking about objects from 17th century Puritan New England, a place where people were being reminded in sermons and books that they needed to prepare for heaven, that at any moment they could die. We start with the joined chairs. We look really at how joined chairs participate in the discourse of the sermon and these books, telling you as emphatically as someone like Cotton Mather, if a bit more unconsciously, that you need to remember to prepare for the end. And this is really a point in our exhibition where we unlock some new interpretive territory, where we made a new argument. And that is that the shape and ornament on the joined chairs closely resembles the kind of shape and ornament on period gravestones. And you can see how the top of the chair mirrors the top of the gravestone, and also how the ornament on the sides of the chair is like that on the sides of the gravestone. And you can even talk about how the arch on the back of the object resembles some of the iconography you see on the grave markers. The idea being that to see an object with this metaphor was to be reminded of the graveyard in the home. The same kind of thing is happening in these six-board chests, one of the most basic forms of early American furniture. And what we argue is that these chests look a lot like caskets, the kind of caskets you see, for example, in this photograph of the catacombs. We know that the same people that made furniture were also furnishing funerals, were acting as undertakers, and so we argue that, like the joined chairs, the chests act as a kind of memento mori, reminding you every time that you open them that you too will one day end up in a coffin. And those aren't my words, they're the words of Cotton Mather, the Boston minister, making the metaphor between chests and coffins. What will our chest of treasure be when we ourselves will be nailed up in the black chest of a coffin? In the third case in this gallery, we move to the 19th century. We say that death is still a part of objects. Objects are still acting as memento mori. But again, they're just doing so through a different kind of vocabulary. In this case, it's the vocabulary of ancient Greece and Rome. And you start to see urns, like the urns in tombs, showing up on every kind of object, on fire buckets, on sugar containers, even on the top of clocks. Death also operates in objects in more humorous ways. In the 18th century, objects are still memento mori, but they're telling you to live life to the fullest. Drink a lot because there's no drinking after death. And here's one of the inscriptions on one of these cups that gives you a sense of when the memento mori becomes a kind of satire in objects.